How's it going, everybody? It's Warren, and today I have a very special video for you today, and yes, it does involve the Fantastic Four. And not only does it involve the Fantastic Four, but it also involves Galactus, the Silver Surfer, and Nova. Ever since Kevin Feige name-dropped the Fantastic Four at San Diego Comic-Con this year, fans have been going crazy and have been wondering when exactly are we going to see them. And although I can't tell you exactly when they're going to be making their MCU debut, I can tell you a little bit about what Marvel is thinking of for their story when they finally do enter the MCU, thanks to an exclusive scoop from Mikey Sutton. So, welcome to the first part of the Mikey Sutton Scoop Jam. As his way of saying thank you to the community and the YouTubers who have supported him, he has given each of us an exclusive scoop for today. And mine involves the Fantastic Four and the one and only man on fire, Johnny Storm. So let's dive into it, but first, be sure to subscribe with notifications turned on, leave a like and comment on the video to enter my giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox One or a PS4. According to Mikey Sutton and his sources, the man on fire is in love. Johnny Storm has fallen for a new girl, a gorgeous redhead named Frankie Raye. Now, I know the comic book fans know who Frankie Raye is, and if you caught the Fantastic Four and the Rise of the Silver Surfer film, you probably know who Frankie Raye is as well. Although if you just know her from the film as a military officer, there's a lot about her that you probably don't know, and we'll get into that in just a bit. According to Mikey, one of the priorities for Marvel Studios when they debut the Fantastic Four into the MCU is to flesh out the characters in ways that Fox didn't do. Now, clearly this makes perfect sense. Fans weren't exactly too excited with the way that Fox handled the Fantastic Four, especially the most recent one. The biggest one, of course, being how Fox depicted Galactus as a cloud. One of the biggest, baddest villains in Marvel history with a very distinguishable look was a cloud. So of course Marvel is going to want to do with these characters something that Fox didn't do. And the scoop goes on to say there are several decades of comic books that Marvel Studios will pull from. They're thinking of building up Raye as Johnny's dream girl, his Mary Jane, if you will. The Fantastic Four is still in early development, but Raye is on their radar. After the Silver Surfer is introduced as the Herald of Galactus, it is a job that Norrin Radd doesn't have for long. And for anybody who may not know, Norrin Radd is the Silver Surfer. Now, some of you may know where this is going if you have read this comic run. So Galactus and his Herald, the Silver Surfer, will be introduced to the MCU, but the Silver Surfer won't be his Herald for long. But who will take his place? And there lies the tragedy of Johnny's love for Raye as she becomes Galactus's new Herald, just like she did in John Byrne's classic 80s Fantastic Four comics. Frankie Raye appeared in the Fantastic Four: The Rise of the Silver Surfer, but Marvel Studios wants to make her soar as a cosmic power, one that could provide a challenge for even Captain Marvel. And that's the scoop from Mikey Sutton, and this makes a lot of sense. The fact that Marvel is reportedly thinking about bringing in Frankie Raye to the first Fantastic Four film in the MCU opens up the storyline to so many different possibilities. I'm talking about Galactus, the Silver Surfer, and even her run as Nova. Now, I know a lot of people probably don't know who Frankie Raye is, so let me explain her origin and how she ties into all of these different storylines and all of these different major characters, and how she could go on to become one of the most powerful characters in the MCU and the Herald of Galactus. In the comics, Frankie's father left her and her mother when she was young. Her mother then remarried to a man named Thomas Raye. Her mother would end up passing away, and she was left under the care of her stepdad, Thomas Raye. Thomas Raye worked in a laboratory as a hobby, and Frankie Raye would help him in the lab. Thomas Raye found out about the Fantastic Four when they appeared, and he found out about the Human Torch and went into a rage. And the reason he went into a rage is because, unknown to Frankie, his real name was Phineas Horton. Phineas Horton was the creator of the very first Human Torch android during World War II. And that's why the Human Torch, a real Human Torch, absolutely infuriated him. The government would end up shutting down Phineas's research and put the Human Torch android into a warehouse. Well, when Horton found out about the Human Torch, he went to the warehouse with Raye, and while carrying some bottles of chemicals containing Horton cells, Raye fell through some weak planks. And when she fell, the chemicals broke and they doused her, and when they doused her, she burst into flames. Not only did Raye survive, but she found that she could create flames with her body just like the Human Torch and could even control fires. Horton was horrified, and in an attempt to protect her from alienation that he had seen the first Human Torch undergo, he hypnotized her and ordered her to forget the experience and even made her develop a pyrophobia, a fear of fire. He also created a transparent suit for her that suppressed her powers, and then he hypnotically ordered her to ignore the suit, acting as if it wasn't even there. And to keep her from furthering finding out about her powers and the experience, he sent her to live on her own at just 14 years old. She lived on her own, but Horton sent a check every month, and she lived a relatively normal life through high school. But that all changed when she ran into Johnny Storm and the Fantastic Four. Frankie had essentially become a Human Torch due to this accident, and her subconscious drew her to Johnny Storm. And despite her pyrophobia, the two of them ended up meeting, and when they met, they began a relationship. Now, Johnny eventually became aware of her transparent suit that she wore all of the time. And of course, Frankie was hypnotized to where she didn't even know that she was wearing it or that it even existed. So of course, she denied the fact that she was even wearing one because according to her own brain, she wasn't. Now, of course, this big mystery of this transparent suit that Frankie didn't even know existed sparked the curiosity of Johnny. So he went to Reed Richards' Mr. Fantastic for help. Mr. Fantastic would soon solve the mystery, and he even released her from her hypnotic trance. And after she was released, Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman and sister to Johnny, convinced Mr. Fantastic to let Frankie join the Fantastic Four as another Human Torch. She joined the Fantastic Four and learned how to control her powers. But of course, that is not where the story ends. Galactus would soon come to Earth. Now at this point, Galactus had made an oath to spare Earth. However, he had become very weak and felt like he had no other choice but to consume Earth. Otherwise, he would die. Raye, however, saw an opportunity to save Earth and to emulate both of her fathers by abandoning Earth just as they abandoned her. So she volunteered to become Galactus's Herald. Now, of course, Frankie did this to save Earth, and Galactus agreed to this proposal because it allowed him to keep his oath to not consume Earth. Galactus gave Raye the power cosmic and she became Nova. Raye would go on to lead Galactus to many different planets, causing billions of people to die. However, she was very apathetic to all of these people dying. She didn't really care that much. This attracted the attention of Galactus's previous Herald, the Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer and Frankie Raye would become friends, and her apathy towards the billions of people dying reminded him of his apathy when he served as the Herald of Galactus as well. The Silver Surfer showed Frankie a world, and then he asked her if she would choose it for her master. When she said yes, he confessed that he had taken her back in time and shown her her own planet, Earth. She then, of course, realized what she was doing and all of a sudden had compassion. Her compassion made her useless to Galactus, so he stripped her of her power cosmic and then he replaced her with Morg. Frankie and the Silver Surfer became companions along with all of the other former Heralds of Galactus. All of the former Heralds got together and fought against the current Herald of Galactus, Morg, trying to ensue that Galactus could no longer consume planets. During this battle, Morg would end up killing Frankie Raye by blasting her from behind. As a punishment for this, Galactus stripped Morg of the power cosmic, which enabled his former Heralds to eventually kill him. The Silver Surfer would end up entombing Nova's body into a star. Now, recently it's been shown that she's actually not dead and she has returned to Earth to be with Johnny Storm. And of course, Marvel doesn't ever take something from the comics and make it a direct adaptation into a movie. But as you can see, there is just plenty of material here for Frankie Raye to be a part of the Fantastic Four's movie, including the introduction of Galactus, which we know is going to be coming in a Fantastic Four film, and the Silver Surfer, which of course we know is going to be coming as well. And of course, let's not forget the old Avengers Tower in New York in Spider-Man Far From Home. By the time Spider-Man Far From Home was over, this new building had completed construction and was complete. Now, a lot of people are thinking that this could be Oscorp Tower, and of course it could be. However, given everything that was going on with the Spider-Man Sony Marvel deal, Marvel may not have been too eager to just assume that they could bring Norman Osborn into the MCU. However, the Disney-Fox deal had been completed and Marvel can now officially use the Fantastic Four in the MCU. So Marvel has one thing that is not for sure, Norman Osborn, and another that is for sure that fans would absolutely freak out about, the Fantastic Four. So this could very well be the Baxter Building, which of course is the headquarters, the top floors at least, to the Fantastic Four. So, we know that the Fantastic Four are headed to the MCU. Kevin Feige has confirmed this at San Diego Comic-Con. And again, according to Mikey Sutton, Marvel is thinking about bringing Frankie Raye's storyline into the Fantastic Four when they debut in the MCU. If Marvel decides to go this route, it opens up a ton of different possibilities. Very, very exciting possibilities. So, let me know what you think about this. Would you like Marvel Studios to incorporate the story of Frankie Raye in the MCU in a Fantastic Four film? Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and again, another thank you to Mikey Sutton for this exclusive awesome scoop. For more of his scoops, you can be sure to check out Lords of the Long Box on their YouTube channel. Again, don't forget to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe with notifications turned on so you can enter my giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox One or a PS4. The winner gets to choose. I'm picking a winner at 550,000 subscribers. If you'd like the chance to win an Infinity Gauntlet, you can click the link in the description down below, and don't forget to use code COSMIC at gfuel.com for 30% off G Fuel. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.